welcome you to another episode of the Andrew Glowczewski Experience. This is going to be episode 211. We're going to continue doing these vehicle prop concepts. And yeah, man, today's date is July 28th, Wednesday, July 28th. If you're watching this on YouTube, you are watching an old episode. You want to catch these things live, catch me on Twitch, man. Or you can catch me on Patreon. Most of these all of these end up on my Patreon, but in order to watch most of them, you would have to be a patron in order to watch them. Starting at $1. And then it goes up from there. Starting at $3, you actually get like commissions or portraits or anything like that from me. So, yeah, man, if that sounds like something that you're into, check it out. Other than that, we're going to continue with the vehicle concepts, everything that I'm working on here. So, I'm just trying to create aerial vehicles. I want to kind of make them up, and a lot of these are pretty derivative. I'm trying to like freestyle with them a bit, but and I kind of ran into a bump of like, oh, I gotta kind of understand these vehicles before I could like start to freestyle on them. It's like what Tupac once said: if you want, you could run the red light, but peep the street signs. Like you got to know what the rules are in order to know how to break them, and break them properly. So I'm trying to create these fictional vehicles. So I need to understand what like the real vehicles are. And I'm not gonna sit here and go into studies and all this other stuff, but there's an aesthetic that I wanted to go for, which is kind of like a motorcycle theme, speed bikes and cruisers alike, three wheelers like the T-Rex vehicles and things like that, and then airplanes. Obviously, they're aerial, and another aerial vehicle is like a helicopter. And that's something that's a little more interesting to me because planes are cool. They have that like fast thing, and but they kind of just go forward unless you have like the ones that have like the propellers, then they could stop and hover and float and shit like that. And those are cool too. I don't know if you ever been to an air show, you can see those sort of things. But either way, saying all that to say this, I everything that I've worked on so far has been kind of like airplanes and the three wheelers and speed bikes sort of setup. Um, I couldn't really find the source images that I was looking for of Akira Kaneda's bike, but I just kind of pulled from my memory, kind of how I imagined it to look and how I want to apply that sort of thing to what I'm going for here. And I just got done doing looking into it a little bit more, and I was like, all right, let me check out cruiser motorcycles because these are all kind of speed bike setups where you're leaning forward on the seat. Um, if you can see right here, you kind of have like the back and the head. You're kind of leaning forward onto the seat, and you have foot pedals down here and all that stuff. Same thing even for a two-seater and all that. Like all that's going on. So it's more for like speed bikes and cruisers and everything like that I had set up. What I want to do is, did I say cruisers? I meant just speed bikes. Um, what I wanted to do was try to get some more cruiser aesthetics because those are for like small planes, ones that could zip by and whatever. But there's also like big planes and everything like we were talking about like helicarriers and like little planes dropping out from these helicarriers and things like that. Um, so it's like, okay, well, obviously these big cruiser types aren't gonna be whatever. Like they're not gonna be like super zippity doo dah vehicles. Like they're gonna be whatever, more chill, more slow. The driver will probably have to be a little more relaxed. So I was looking at cruiser motorcycles and looking at their setups and trying to like wrap my head around how to get things going. What I like about these setups, is you're kind of leaning forward. You have a dash here, you have a dash here, so they're ready, available for for your hands. Ba ba ba. You can press buttons and look at metrics or whatever it is that pilots do, as well as like a screen right here that's above their line of sight. And on top of, so looking at the cruiser bike setup and how you sit on them and everything like that, I was like, okay, well, I got to play with those concepts. and play with those ideas. And then at the same time, I was like, all right, let me also check out helicopters and helicopter consoles and dashboards and all that other stuff. And so I checked those out as well. And I was actually kind of surprised at how accurate, like I wasn't even shooting for it. I'm just kind of like throwing random shit together. I have no idea what I'm doing when I throw all these things. It's like inside Tony Stark's helmet when you see all those gadgets and gizmos going off and lights and readings and da 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 da. It's like, it's all just noise, really. Like we kind of see like, oh, okay, he understands that all this funky shit that's going on in there, but we don't necessarily need to understand it. That's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm not really understanding everything, but I kind of just was like, yeah, there are going to be circles and squares and buttons and warning signs and little latitude, longitude readings and things like that. I don't know how all that stuff works. So I was looking at helicopter dashboards and I was like, holy shit, it was actually really accurate. The only thing that I noticed from a helicopter, just because helicopters operate on an X, Y, and a Z. So you have X, Y, and Z. So you can move forward, sideways, and up and down. While planes kind of just have a one-way go. We only shoot forward, even if, they can do like loop-de-loops and they can barrel roll and everything like that. But even when they turn, it's like just slightly on an angle, but really it's more like they're moving forward all the time. And I think if for what I'm going for, airplanes, while they move forward fast, they don't maneuver properly. All this stuff going on with aliens recently with like, oh, this UFO technology and how does it go like this and that. That's been coming out lately, and it's like, oh, it went from here to there in like 2 seconds. Nothing can do that. That's like the future. That's kind of like where vehicles could go, hypothetically. So that's kind of more the angle I want to go with. So the question I asked myself with these vehicles that I'm working on is, how do I get this XYZ motion so it's not just like a linear motion here, but one that can shoot forward, shoot sideways, and shoot up and down. Maybe not on a dime, but just enough so that it could be something proper. I'm thinking a lot about like Cowboy Bebop. I said on a previous stream like how I was going to be looking into those and those vehicles, and as I'm looking into them, I'm reminiscing about the show, and you think about how like Spike and Faye pilot their machines, and they got they're hitting brakes, they're doing all this shit, and they're flying in 3 dimensions, and they shoot up, they shoot down, like when Faye's leaving the casino, she skyrockets upwards and then outwards. Spike, he's always zipping fast, but then he has to hit the brakes sometimes. And then, so he'll slow down and then he can like do some shit. So I'm just trying to think of all that stuff. Which is why I was like looking into helicopters and the dash. I immediately was just like, okay, this already kind of looks like a helicopter dash. I mean, is it perfect? No. Does it have to make sense? No. So the only other thing that I noticed was the visuals that you get on a helicopter. The windshield on a helicopter shows so much more than you get on a motorcycle, which kind of makes sense, or that what you get on a plane, because a plane, you're let's say this box represents your view, your everything. So this is like your periphery out here. So this is all your periphery. So this is like everything that you see. An airplane will probably cut out like that much of your view, so you don't even see what's going on here because you have all the gadgets and gizmos and everything like that, where this is like your center console, and then this is the windshield, so you could look up and see the sky above you, but you can't really, you can look to the sides a bit, but your vision's limited. I don't know if you ever played sports and put on a helmet, but your view gets limited when you have in close quarters and things like that. A helicopter, let's say this is your view, a helicopter kind of like has the windshield go all the way down. We've seen the helicopters that look like bubbles and shit like that. So the only thing that you can't see is like everything that's in the console right here, but you can basically see everything else. It's just like what's right here. And if you think about being able to see this way, how um, even our own vision, I don't know about you, but me, I could always see my nose, you know, in my view. You know what I mean? So I just kind of think about it that way. Like here, I could see everything. Here's my periphery when I'm looking forward, but I could always see like the bridge of my nose or the tip of my nose within my view. Obviously, I kind of subconsciously we've evolved to like kind of cut that out from like us being aware of seeing it. But if you think about it for a second, I imagine everybody can be like, oh yeah, I can see my nose right in front of my face. Um, but yeah, that's what I imagine like a helicopter is. So as I was looking at that stuff,
That industry.
um, I was looking at the airplane views and even this motorcycle setup for an airplane cockpit. Um, that it may have, I would probably have to cut out so that these little side bits here, so you're not seeing like you see how this is cutting off from the side. So if you're sitting in here, this would probably have to go lower so you could see more in front of you. And yeah, so that's a thing that I might have to start thinking about with these designs. So I was like, okay, that's gonna add like a whole new hurdle for me to have to overcome. Like it's hard enough trying to just make up vehicles and not copy vehicles that exist. Um, so I wanted to I wanted to just talk about that for a second. How I may have to like actually break open this and make it all kind of like visible. Um, if you think about it, when you ride a motorcycle, you only have like the vehicle, much like a helicopter. You have this center console and everything right in front of you, and then you have your handlebars right here. So you have like your handlebars, and then you could still see everything. Like you're not a car with a door to your side, or a blind spot right behind you. Like you're out in the open, you're exposed. Um, so I was just thinking about all those things, and I don't know. I'll have to implement them sooner or later, hopefully sooner. But just at the moment, what I want to do is just play with more seat ideas. Just like I got like this sort of speed bike kind of console area, seat and console area. I want to do one that's for more cruising for like these larger uh, ships and things like that. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna be working on this episode. Uh, God damn, that's a hell of a intro, hell of a long explanation. Where we at 13 minutes already? So yeah, like a 10-minute intro to all this, but hopefully you guys find it, interesting how much thought goes into this stuff. If you want to create similar things as well, like you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess I do have to open up my mind to thinking about more things than I normally would. Like, how often do I ever really think about planes and helicopters and motorcycles and center consoles and shit like that? Like, I don't really like, you know, food and sleep. That's all I'm really ever thinking about. I got Your Mom's House podcast playing in the background. It's Tom Segura and George Perez, two stand-up comedians. It's a good podcast. I'm already like over an hour in, and it's a 2-hour podcast. So there's like 45 minutes left on it. They're in the middle of talking. I don't even know what they're talking about at the moment. I kind of forgot when I started this stream. But either way, I'm just gonna let that rock, and Yeah, play that. Have that play in the background while I sit there and work on these cruiser setups.
Gracious, like really cool, really nice. They've always been really, really friendly.
Yeah, with me, I don't know. I've had some fucking crazy ones.
Well, but you've also been more deep in it. With
Yeah, they come
that
and
work.
gas and show. Like, I'm like, yeah, we hire them and stuff. We got some crazy shit happen before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or it's like they do drugs and like one of them almost OD'd.
I think that's the part that really takes it to another level is when people start doing drugs.
That partying all
Yeah. Coming here is like, let's have fun, let's talk. You know, everyone's.
Yeah.
But like, if you're in that party atmosphere, it's a different thing. Because that's when everyone's demons come out. If you go like, you know, the room is dark and music. I've partied a couple times, but met long time ago.
All right. I would love to do coke with you one day, Tom.
Yeah, I would love to do coke with you, George.
2 bumps, 1 straw. A new podcast. We'll just be all yayed out like real people.
No, you know, I haven't done that. I've never done cocaine.
No way.
Never. Because I OD'd when I was 19 on GHB.
Oh
and
my
I
God.
took a bunch of it. I drank a bunch and took pills. I ended up in a coma. And what I always say is that I was on the natural path of like trying things, like experimenting more. But because it's such a traumatizing thing to OD, you kind of go, you know what? Like, I'm good. Like,
Yeah.
I'll just stop with that. You know what I mean? So,
Why were you doing so much GHB?
because
Depressed and shit?
no, I was partying. Like I was having fun with it. I started doing it as a senior in high school because it started to get big in Florida.
You do it in caps, huh?
Bottle cap. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, exactly. Just literally, this would be the GHB, and you go like this, and you're like, whoa, that's too much. It tastes like ocean water, and you're like, ugh.
And then what is it?
It's like it's pretty immediate. Whole body high, and you're like,
tingle or relaxation?
yeah, feel good, like tingling throughout your body, and you're high. You're just high, feeling good, high. Your eyes, you know, they don't turn red. Your breath doesn't smell like. It's like you felt like it was a cheat code, especially if you're in high school, because you like kids would smoke weed during lunch, but then you could tell, or if they drank, you could tell because you smell or you're starting to act belligerent or something. So it was like this like cheat code thing. I felt like a friend of mine was the first one to bring it to school, and I was like, I don't know. I tried it. And I was like, oh, this is great, man.
At school?
At school. We did it at school, and then we would do it during the lunch break and come back to that next period, and you'd be like,
how'd you OD? You do like a 2-liter of it?
I drank way too. So it's the stupidest thing. I've told the story, but
My bad.
No.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. So it's my freshman year in college, right? And Thanksgiving, most of the time, if you're a freshman, especially all college kids, or most college kids, but especially freshmen, you're going home for the first time probably. From like if you go away to
I got
college,
you now.
this Thanksgiving weekend, right? And it's also you're seeing everybody who you graduated with coming back too, and everyone's becoming an adult. Like so it's this big like reunion weekend. So you have Thanksgiving with your family, and then Friday and Saturday are like parties. You go out. I go to this party, and I remember that the guy who would always have drugs, I was like, hey, you got a GHB? Because I couldn't find it really in Carolina. I got some, but it was terrible.
Yeah.
And the Florida stuff was like the
Yeah,
primo
it's the
stuff.
coast. It's where
Yeah, and that's also like where it was big. Like Georgia and Florida was where GHB was really popular. So he's like, I'll have some later, but I have ecstasy, And I was like, okay. And I take a pill, and like 10 minutes later, I'm like, yeah, I don't feel it. And he's like, yeah, dude, chill out. Like, it's gonna take a minute to kick in. So then I start drinking, and I start just knocking. I was drinking screwdrivers, remember? Just
I remember those.
sucking them down, And I've had 3 or 4, and I get to the next. Cause we left one party, we go to the next party. I drink a few more. I'm starting to get buzzed, but I don't have that like high feeling. And so I hit him up. I was like, hey, what's up with that GHB? And he goes, yeah, meet me by the car in a few minutes. So I go out there, and I sit in his car. And I'm thinking like, oh, great, I'm going to do a hit. I'm going to be fine. First of all, I should tell you this. They tell you from the very first time you do GHB, they're like, do not drink on this. Because it's a fatal combination.
Oh.
Alcohol, and because it's basically like an anesthetic.
Okay.
So you really should not drink alcohol on it. So I get in the car with him, and he hands me a gallon milk jug, a gallon, and he's going to use that and disperse it into water bottles. But he hands me the gallon, and I'm like holding it, like a gallon's heavy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I'm not going to put it in the
Cap.
milk cap.
Yeah.
So I just put it to my mouth, like that, and I realized that I have like a mouthful. So I'm like, what am I going to do? Like in the moment, you're like, what am I going to spit it out?
It's a lot of money.
So I just swallow it, and I realized I've just taken like, I don't know, 7 bottle caps worth or something. And so that's really what's.
And you're on ecstasy.
And I'm on ecstasy, and I'm up to like, I don't know, 10 drinks or something. So I have like a great 20 minutes. Where I'm like walking around the bar, I'm like, let's stop, Matt. And people are like, you're always in a good mood. I'm like, you know it. So, I go through the party, and then I just, I still remember I sit down on this patio. I have a girlfriend, she sits on my lap, and I just remember passing out. That's all I remember. And then when I wake up, I've got tubes in my throat, I'm restrained, and I found out later that the only reason that I lived is because my sister was at that party. Because other people were like, hey, he's fucking out. And like, the guys were like,
Yeah, they left you.
well, they were like,
they didn't know.
They're like, let him sleep it off. Like, he's all right. My sister was like, So she's the one that called the ambulance. But like, if she hadn't, I'd definitely be dead.
Damn.
Yeah, all because I didn't want to be rude with too much GHB in my mouth. Like, I should have been like, but.
I've never overdosed.
But I also feel like if that hadn't happened to me, like let's say I just got really high, I'm sure I would have gone back to school and like, college is one of those things, hey, you want to try this? All right.
Yeah.
But what happened was I went back to school and I was like, I'm good. Because you're scared. At first, most people didn't know at first because we didn't want the school to know and like, I don't know, discipline me or something. So we told them I had an allergic reaction or something. And they were like, all right. So I was, I wasn't there for a couple of weeks. And then eventually I started telling like my friends, and then people found out.
Yeah. Recently, one of my buddies, Side Dick Eddie.
On his
Side
ID.
Yeah, Side Dick Eddie.
How did he get that name?
He always hooks up with a girl that has a boyfriend.
Holy shit.
All right.
Yeah, because he's like, I don't want responsibility, eh?
Yeah.
And
Dick Eddie.
he was doing coke, shrooms, acid, whatever. This fool, fentanyl, all that shit. And I was buying a car from Honda. And this fool started having like a stroke and convulsions in the, like, you know how you go buy a car and they're like, wait for the loan, you have to do the paperwork,
yeah.
Try to sell you the insurance.
Sure, they always try to mark, and then they're like, do you want coverage on your tires? And
yeah.
Do you want to pay for oil changes? And you're like, all right, you just do it. All of a sudden it's like $1,000 more a month. Like, what the fuck just happened, man?
Yeah. So we're in there waiting, and this fool just starts having convulsions. And they kind of know I'm a comedian, so they're like, oh, hey, you guys
being silly?
And I'm like, I don't know CPR shit. I'm just pounding. This guy's like 380 Cuban, and I'm pounding on his chest. And then, like, I remember people looking at us. This little fool pulled out a phone, and I was like, help, people, I'm not lying. So, like, I threw water on him, and then he just snaps out of it. And then I guess when you lose oxygen to your brain, like he was red and it was crazy, dude.
This is right in front of you. Obviously, this is happening right now.
And I still haven't signed fucking paperwork for the car yet. And like, I remember him just going, hey, fool, I got a warrant. Do not call the ambulance. Do not call.
He's telling you this?
And I was just like, I was kind of pissed too, Tom, because like they still made me wait 10 more fucking minutes to sign for the car. And the lady's like, well, so do you want this insurance? I was like, dude, my friend almost died in the showroom.
Yeah.
I gotta go. Like, what's wrong with you?
And you still took the car though? They gave you the car?
They hooked me up.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
I needed a car.
Yeah.
Because my kids, I gave them my other cars, and I was like, I need a car, dude. I need a car that I won't get pulled over in.
Yeah.
Like, that's when I buy a car, I'm like,
I bet when a cop sees you, they're immediately like, all right, put your fucking, like, all their red flags go off, right? They see tats, they're like, oh, this dude.
bald,
Yeah.
bumping.
Yeah.
But I'm American. I should have the fucking freedom to do whatever the fuck I want.
God bless America,
I'm
man.
not drinking beer in my car. Yeah, I'm doing coke sometimes.
Yeah, but that's fine.
It's a long drive.
Yeah. How are you supposed to make it on that drive?
You know what? Cocaine has saved me from never getting the DUI.
Really?
Yeah, because you're all buzzed and you'll bump it.
Yeah.
Boom.
Have you been pulled over on coke?
Yeah, it's the scariest shit ever.
And do they ever suspect?
Well, they can feel your heart just.
But you're like, I'm nervous.
And I'm like, I don't have teeth on this side, and I'm just like, you try to feel your gums because it feels so good, and I don't know. But then, I'm a pro. I'm just like, straight up, I was, hey man, what's wrong? How come like you're biting yourself? I'm like, you know what, man? I was at a party. Junior high friends were there, and they were like, just do a bump like old times. I wasn't drinking. I did a bump, and he's like, see you later.
Really?
Yeah. Dude, now my friends told me they got caught with sacks, and the cops were like, oh, see you later. As long as you're not a dealer, as long as it's not fentanyl. Yeah.
There you go, fuck. I did know a cop who told me one time, he said that what irritated him the most on like a pullover, like a simple traffic stop, is being lied to.
Yeah.
And he goes like, if I go, you got weed? And you're like, yeah. I'll be like, all right. He goes, but if you say no, and I find weed, then I get pissed.
It's happened to me before. They found a gun in my car.
That's different than weed, but go ahead.
Well, in the early 90s in California, a gun possession was a misdemeanor.
Mm-hmm.
So I really didn't care. And when in that generation, everybody was like, I've been shot at a lot in the 90s.
Really?
Yeah, it was active. So I carried a gun. I was like, fuck it. And
What'd you carry?
I had a 44, 357, 380, and a 9mm.
That's
and then
major hardware, dude. 357 is not like
my nickname shotgun.
Okay.
So I used to have a sawed off sometimes, and I put it in my little trench coat. And dude, it was active. And
Yeah.
there's no real like, I didn't know where my future was going and shit like that. Like now, where I'm like, nah, dog, we're doing shit. And I remember it was a gun. There was two guns in the car. He only found one, and I was scared because it was a stolen gun. So he had to shave the serial numbers off.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But he found the one that was like, I was a stupid kid, man. I stole a gun from my uncle because I knew it was registered and like I wouldn't get in trouble.
Yeah.
And that's the one they found. And like the cop was just like, I thought you said there was no guns in the car. I was like, you know what, man? I lied. Sorry, man. Like I didn't want to get caught. And he was just like, I gotta take you in on it. And then I had to pay my uncle like $400.
So when you got taken in for gun possession?
Yeah, well, see, they take you in on a gun possession, and then like, since I'm a gang member, they try to throw all this street terrorism, gang enhancement bullshit on you.
Yeah.
And then like, my family had money, so they were like, got a lawyer, and then get this fool out.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
You know what you said? You said your friend who was convulsing, he's like, hey, don't call, I have a warrant. Do warrants ever expire, or do they just stay forever?
I don't know, because I've never had a warrant. I've always been caught.
Okay. Yeah. Do warrants expire?
Yeah, I mean, I think they do, like on tickets.
Let's see. The bench warrant does not expire. Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know. So your friend definitely should not call an ambulance.
Yeah.
If law enforcement ever takes you into custody without an arrest warrant, you probably committed a crime that was observed by the officer. Okay? I'm trying to see if there's an arrest warrant. Okay, scroll down a little bit here. Close that thing on the right if you can. In California, arrest warrant has been issued for you. Consult a criminal defense attorney. You will need an attorney's help if you are named in a bench warrant, so-called because it comes from the bench, meaning it has come from a California judge. Unlike a warrant for someone's arrest, a bench warrant is not necessarily linked to a criminal activity. Bench warrants may be issued for failing to appear as scheduled in court, failing to pay a court ordered fine, or a failure to complete classes, counseling, treatment, etc. Okay,
That's Side Dick Eddie. He failed all that
he
shit.
failed all that shit. They told me I had a warrant one time when I was calling to something DMV, whatever, and they were like, oh, you got a ticket. I got a speeding ticket in Irvine. And they were like, you have a warrant, or you're going to have something like that. And I was like, oh, what do I do? And they were like, go down there and pay that fine.
Yeah.
Like, okay, all right. So I rushed my ass there.
You've never been arrested, huh?
No, never been arrested. Never.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. No, it's
You have the look of a bad boy to me, dog.
really most
Yeah.
people. I've been told that I look like military, and people have been like, oh, when I was in high school, when I would transfer schools, we moved a lot. People would be like, how old are you, man? And I was like, what? I'm like 14. And they're like, you look older. And then they were like, are you a narc? People always thought I was like, what? No, I'm a fucking 14-year-old kid.
We had a narc at our school.
Really?
I found out, too.
I bet he got fucked up.
No.
No?
I only found out because when I was 19 or 20, I seen him at a club, and he had a fucking badge right here. And I was like, what? But it was a trip, though, because, like, he already had monster-ass chest hair and fucking in high school with
Yeah,
us.
and you're like, this dude's old.
And it happened my senior year, and he was all buff and shit, playing on the football team, fucking us up.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then like later on, people were like, "That was a fucking narc," and I was like, "You're trippy," because he was playing the gangster role too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a dude who was 20 on our high school football team who was also fucking people up, and we were like, "You're 20," and then we found he's just dumb. But he was held back.
Held back.
Yeah, yeah. But he was like a grown ass man, you know, fucking up 16-year-old. 20 as it can fuck up a 16-year-old
Yeah.
kid, man.
My
Yeah.
football team, we were supposed to be so good my senior year, but a lot of people from the gang I was from were on the football team,
Mhm.
and we shot somebody. And like 4 of us got taken in, and they fucked the whole team up.
Yeah, that doesn't happen at every high school, man. Like, what happened to your team? Oh, they got arrested for shooting someone. We did play. I brought this up to somebody who knew the school. So we played a reform school every year. So there's a high school in Orlando that to go to that school, you had to have been kicked out of other schools.
Or continuation school.
I guess.
Yeah.
And we get there, first time we got off the bus and we saw these dudes, we were like, oh shit. Because these look like grown ass men. Like dudes had beards and shit, you know, we were like, what? And then, you know, like just grown, but here's the thing, we beat them, and we beat them every year.
It's a structure.
They didn't have any discipline,
Yeah.
they didn't know how to run plays, and we've, you know, it made sense because, you know, they don't know who's going to be there on even Friday for the game. So it's like,
Yeah.
some kids are there Wednesday, not there Thursday. So it was always a mess. But you saw the kids and you were like, oh my God. Because they looked like grown-ass men. I mean, some of them were like that kid on our team. Held back, you know, 3 times and shit. Like, they're big dudes.
Dude, we had to play modern day.
You played Modern Day? Yeah.
That's
those-
right. They used to beat the shit out of us.
Yeah. Modern Day, for people that don't know, is like a nationally celebrated team that has won.
And it's in the hood.
Is it in the hood? I didn't know
In the
that.
fucking hood. I've seen people been shot by modern day.
Really?
It's on a street called Bristol in Santa Ana, and everyone, it's like the Whittier Boulevard of Orange County,
Yeah.
all the lowriders and gang, but in my era, the 90s, it was like gang capital, stand, it was crack. I seen people get shot over chains right there.
Yeah, Modern Day was, I mean, that was, if you followed high school football, it was nationally reported on. You would be on USA Today.
Did you guys, like, you were in school in North Carolina?
No, I was in Florida.
Florida.
Yeah, high school in Florida.
Did you guys know about modern day?
Oh, I mean, I knew about it because I would always read that USA Today would do the top 25 high school teams in the nation
Oh, yeah.
every week. And so it was cool because you would learn about, and then there was, sometimes there'd be Florida schools, you'd be like, oh, this is a school that's one of the best in the country right here. And then there were schools that were always in it, like year after year after year. And Modern Day is one of them.
Yep.
Modern Day would be on that list every year.
Everything.
There's a couple California schools that were regularly on it. And then there's always a couple Texas schools, and there's always like 3 or 4 at least high school or Florida high schools that had like, and you know, you would follow, if you followed those schools, you would see that they produced crazy
Monsters.
college and NFL talent, like just ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
There was that reform school. I still remember one of the first plays, because I played on O line and D line. I put my my hand in the dirt, and this black dude, lined up across from me. He had a full beard, not like this, but like a bushy ass. We're in high school, and he reached with his hand in the dirt, and with his other hand, he picked up grass out of the ground, and he put it in his mouth, and he goes, "I eat grass, white boy." And he started chewing grass, and I was like, oh, fuck.
What if you really said, I eat ass?
Yeah. And I was like, this is gonna be a long game, man.
Yeah, we had to play we had to play Santa Ana Valley. That shit was crazy. There was fools there with their kids on the sideline.
Yeah.
That's
You're
a
like,
trip to
you're like,
me.
you're in high school, dude? Yeah. Fucking nuts. The Olympics, Euros, baseball, major championships, and concerts are all in this summer. You know what isn't? A wild and hairy bush. Tame your pubes with help from our friends at Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming. Their fourth-generation performance package includes the brand-new Lawnmower 4.0. If an athlete treats their body like royalty, why not treat your pubes like Olympic gold? Fellas, do right by your balls and join the 2 million men worldwide who trust them.
Yeah, skip all this.
This is crazy, too. We don't get this in LA. That's what I miss about New York.
She playing the drums with her tits?
Yep. She's being Spice Girls, right? If you want to be my lover. That's the one cool thing about New York. You really get to see shit like that every day.
I got a weird vibe in New York.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's like
They're not used to seeing, like, you know.
Mexicans,
No.
tall ones. They were like, they thought it was Indian. I was all pissed. What the fuck? Yeah, fucking Persian, homie. For real, this guy walked by, he was like, Abu Hana, and I was just like,
Buhara.
what the fuck?
You're like, hey, dog,
Yeah, and after I said it, I go, hey, homie, check this out.
don't talk to me like that.
I'm from Cali, dog. And, you know, yeah.
When were you there? I'd love to see a video of you meeting people who are like, what?
Oh, it was a trip. I was there like right before COVID, like 6 months before COVID. It was a
First
trip.
time? Was that your first time?
Yeah.
It's a wild city though, right? Like, I remember the first time you go to Manhattan and you're just like, holy, like the buildings and like the way that city's like so different than like an LA city, man.
I fucked up.
Really?
Yeah, I tried to buy coke and they gave me wrong shit. So we went looking for these fools and I was like, you know what, man? I got a career, man. Like, this won't burn me for $80. Fuck it. Like, but then like, yeah, it's grimy. Hey, no hate on New York. No hate. It was just weird.
Yeah.
Because usually there's always Mexicans everywhere I'm at.
Yeah.
And then it was like, wow.
I remember one guy I worked with here who he had run the streets for a while. Now he was working as a post-production supervisor.
Oh,
He had
okay.
a good
Good thing
thing.
like a soup plantation.
No. So he had a good career going, and he was like, but he's super Cali, super SoCal. Like, you know, he'd been in trouble and stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know about this New York shit, man. I'm like, dude, New York's one of the greatest cities. You gotta go to New York. You're gonna love it. He got back and he was like, yeah, that shit sucked, man. And I was like, what? Like, where did you go? He was like, I stayed in Spanish Harlem. And I was like, and?
Whoa.
Where did you go? And he's like, just there. I was like, yeah, you didn't fucking experience New York City, man. He was like, yeah, I did. And I was like, no, you stayed in one fucking neighborhood that, like, why would you pick that neighborhood? He's like, I knew some chick there. I was like, all right, man, next time, let me help you with travel. Because it was like the totally wrong way to experience it,
Yeah.
you know?
Now we did everything. We hit Brooklyn and all that, but I was burnt out. It was like
It's a lot to take on. It's a lot.
for 3 days. It was a lot.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, New York's the kind of place where, you know, there's so much to do and so much to see that you either got to pick, you know, one area to explore, or you got to spend time there. And, like, you know, it's best to obviously either go with or meet up with somebody who's from there or lives
Yeah.
there and let them show you around. But it offers so much. That city offers so much.
Yeah, it's America, baby.
Yeah, it's America, baby. We have this segment we do called Horrible or Hilarious. Should I just show you a clip?
Okay.
And you tell me whether this is terrible or funny. Okay?
That's fucking funny. Oh, hold on, it's hilarious.
Okay, that's all good. That's all good.
Hilarious.
You don't have to say it like a white guy. Let's see it again. Oh, that.
He did that that shit on purpose. He wasn't even trying to land.
He didn't even try that. I also feel like this is one of those things where you're acting like you're okay, but like you can taste your fucking the back of your throat. And you're like, oh.
Yeah, that's
Like he's in pain for days after this.
yeah.
Oh man, this is. How is that not on purpose?
Unless there's a driveway right there.
She's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? She's right.
That would have been a bomb ass porno if he got out there and boned her. Cause he already came from the back and
Yeah. What? How, like. What is he doing? Have you seen that clip going around? Man. I just realized I have it. I gotta send you this.
that was still funny, but it was terrible.
It was, right? Yeah.
The older lady, you can't hit her with a car on the lawn, dog. By the planter?
Yeah, that was, okay. I'm sending this to, you, dog.
Cool, you're emailing this?
No, I sent a text it to you.
Cool, cool.
So this has been, like, super viral, and it's perfect for this. Maybe you can pull it up on that one in a moment.
Yeah, just give me a second.
Yeah. God damn, that was both horrible and hilarious.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of messed up.
Yeah.
Because he hit her.
Yeah, and also where is he? Like it's like he tried to hit her. It looks like it. How else do you accidentally do that? He drove up on a side, like on the grass, right to the spot that she's standing in.
But see, the thing is, I used to do construction. That might be like, you know how like in the corner of the cul-de-sac, a handicap ramp for you to come up. I don't know, man.
Oh right, because you can't really see.
Because he would have fucked it up if he went over the curb. You would have heard a bump or something.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not trying to be the lawyer now.
Yeah, you're the defense attorney
Check
now.
this out, Your Honor.
Okay, hold on. Start it over here. Start it over. Can you see that screen over there?
Yeah.
Okay. Give us volume if you can. You know, check out that guy. Can you make it full screen? Yeah. Doing his little video. Walking.
Oh, shit.
Oh shit.
Oh fuck me!
Which one did you find funnier?
That shit is. Even Jordan was screaming on the show.
Oh my god, dude, that dude's so funny.
It's funny because he did it to himself.
Exactly, that's the funniast part. Is that he's also like he's like check this shit out, man. Like walking next to his ride, spitting his. That leg is toast.
You
Okay.
hear the snap? I think it snapped down the middle of it.
It's a big snap. It's a big snap. Woo.
Damn, that's some fucked up shit right there.
Man, somebody ran over their own leg. Shit.
Dog, that's fuck. Do you like watching people break their leg ever since that shit happened to you? You get off on it like, yeah, feel my pain.
Wait, he hasn't seen the house jump. What's that? Is that last week's? What episode's that under?
Let me pull that up.
Because I can put it on. If you tell me the episode, let's see. I think I got it. Hold on. Is this? No, that's not it. That's one of my favorite things I've ever seen.
Here, I'll just play it on this screen.
Okay.
I have it ready to go.
Check this out. This was give it with the audio though. Okay. Okay. That one. That screen over there. Look at this guy. He just.
Oh, shit.
Dude.
Dog.
But also, what's he thinking? Being like, oh, just jump from the roof.
Fucking think he is Spider-Man?
Yeah, man.
That's like, with the rubber construction boots on, like no panties, nothing.
Nothing.
Hey, he touched his toes faster than I've seen him. All he would do is spread his cheeks and cough. That probably ripped his ass open.
Dude, I think he has full reconstruction of his entire lower body.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Hyperextended, knees just snapped,
His
ankles,
hip probably
hips.
got, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see, 'cause I just texted my doctor that repaired me. And at first he just wrote,
You text your doctor.
yeah. I said, he's going to need full lower body reconstruction. He goes, all the terrible things. That's what he said.
That's insane. I wanted to show you this video I had. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Oh.
Where do you come up with these? You just like see them or people send them to you?
They send them mostly to the email
Okay.
of the show. A lot of people send them.
I gotta send you some videos then.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Send us. And the crazier the better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
I bet I don't with you. I bet there's some real wild shit. I'm like, I thought I seen some crazy shit, and then George sent me some stuff. Fuck, man. You know I've been fucking with Garth Brooks for a while?
I seen that and why is he hating on you?
So, if you go to his Instagram page and you look at the comments, all the comments are just inside jokes from this podcast. All of them. Like, it makes no sense to anybody that doesn't listen to this show. Like, I don't know if you can make that bigger. I can't really see it there, but, you know, like, oh, I got the right one. But, you know, it says, like, free Segura, and it says, like, I got a DUI, baby, and it's normal size. Like, you know, all these things that are from our show that to anybody else literally just makes no sense. I mean, like, its normal size is,
Well, it's normal size.
it's just a clip from this show, you know? Or like, I got a DUI, baby.
I got a DUI, baby.
It's just clips from here, and people write on his page.
And he's mad because you're
Well,
causing traffic. And
Whoever, yeah, I mean, like, it's literally thousands of times. So I tried to write something on his page, and then it wasn't visible. So I realized that he didn't block me, but he had restricted my account. So then I started talking
Oh
about that.
shit.
And so people started writing back more. And then people started making photoshops of me as Garth Brooks. So they started, like, they put me on.
I honestly thought it was him. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I remember you posted that he killed somebody or something. And I was like, what the fuck? And you know, like,
Yeah, that was just more.
Cholos never look shit up. I was
Yeah.
like, hey, homie, fucking Garth Brooks killed somebody, dog. And they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
And they're
people
just
are-
stupid ass. That's Tom Segura.
Yeah, there's all these different ones here that, like, let's see, this guy, one was made by, from Allie, it looks like, one from Casey, this one here is from, the Cool Guy Club.
Mr. Clavicles always
Yeah.
makes good ones for you, dog.
He does good ones, yeah.
That's where I seen it, Mr.
Yeah.
Clavicles.
He makes good ones, yeah.
He's with the business.
Yeah, yeah, he brings it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, who made this one? This is from Technocrat, made Tom Segaro. These are all me
That's
Photoshop.
fucking funny. Tom
Onto-
Segura.
Yeah. But anyways, we always have fun with Garth because, you know, he deserves it.
Does he like want to fight you or anything? Like, as
Secretly, I hope he does, but publicly, he doesn't acknowledge. Even though one of our fans got to ask him a question, and they said something about your mom's house, and he goes, "What'd you say about my mom?" And that's where it ended. And that was when he was doing the baseball camp.
he's
with the-
big, but you're big.
Yeah, he's a big dude. He's a big dude. I heard that.
Yeah.
So, but I'm injured. You know, I'm still recovering. So, I think in a fight right now, I would have to be like,
I don't know. I mean, he's country, dog. He probably horses and all that shit.
yeah,
He's strong.
Yeah, he's got a ranch and shit. Yeah.
I'll fuck him up.
Yeah.
I'll fuck him up.
Do you know what I would love for you to do?
what this guy does. I found this is a clip.
George,
This guy's
crazy,
whole
man.
thing is that people tell him bad news, and then he delivers it to them. And I bet I would love for you to do this. So this, check out this clip of this guy. It's gonna be funnier coming from you.
Hi, is this Chase? Hi, I'm John. I run a service where I break bad news to people for other people. Okay. And your girlfriend Brianna hired me to break some bad news to you. She's been cheating on you.
Alright.
Yeah, and she wants it to be over now.
Okay.
So, yeah, sorry.
You know, you
What? Some guy named Mike. Alright, well, really sorry to be the one to break this bad news to you, bud.
any more information? No?
I'm just here to break the bad news.
Okay.
You have a good one, man.
Dick.
That is such a day.
I can do that shit fine.
Yeah, you can make it a lot
Just
more
broke
fun.
some bad news.
I thought you need to break a sweat, Taz. Or break a razor. Jesus can't even lift that full spirit. He's
No.
thicker than a motherfucker.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
I would have been like, hey, Brianna. Oh, no, what's his name?
The dude was
Whatever.
yeah.
Fuck him.
Mike. Mike, I don't know.
I would have been like, yo, homie, check it out. So your lady doesn't have the balls to fucking tell you shit. But they pay me, and she's boning fools right now, dog.
He'd be like, I'm sorry, what was that?
I would have changed my customer service voice. Hi, yes, this is George with bad news.
Words with bad news.
And yeah,
Oh God.
that's I don't know, that's crazy.
It's such a cop-out way to, like, the girl, you tell him, but it is a good service.
It is.
It is.
You know what the best service is? My friend does. He goes on OfferUp and he does speed. He smokes speed and he stays up.
Uh-huh.
And he goes, I'll stand at the DMV for you, so you'll be the first person there. And he's there like at 5:30 in the morning smoking speed in the car. And then he's like, I made 600 this week. I was like, what the fuck?
Yo, that's for real?
Yeah, he just stands.
How does he get it out there that he's the guy that will do that? You know what I mean? Like, how does he advertise that he's the guy to hit up?
He goes, if you have things to do, I stand at the DMV line for you.
But does he only tell his friends, or does he have
No,
a
he puts a
Instagram?
post on OfferUp.
Oh, on OfferUp.
Yeah,
That's a good business.
dude, I hate that shit. The appointments
too.
are hard.
Me too, man. Who the fuck likes standing in goddamn line? It's the worst.
I hate standing. Don't you hate standing in the grocery line? And,
All of them, any line.
and they're over there talking and shit. And I don't want to be a dick, but I'm like, yo, I have girls to be with. That's why I got this beer and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, come on, dog.
TSA is another thing too. I've ever seen them congregate and they're like in a little circle talking, and you're like, this line is fucking 50 deep.
Yeah.
You see them just like, and then when I see one laugh, are you guys chatting it up? You just having a little story time right now?
Yeah.
You don't see there's 50 people waiting to go through this. One time I pulled out my phone and recorded them.
No.
When they were, yeah. And one of the ladies caught it. She goes, please don't record us. And I was like, oh, okay. I'll put it away.
Why can't you record them?
I guess you legally can, but she was just like, I don't want to be recorded. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, whatever. I have a problem with like TSA and cashier. Like I look at them like cops. Like,
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I don't walk behind them. Like I keep like an arm's length distance. Fuck all that shit.
Yeah. I only got in trouble once with TSA.
Yeah.
This lady, I thought she spoke to me rude, you know, checking the ticket. So I was like, nah.
What did you say?
So I was flying, I think it was from to the U.S.
First class?
Well, funny you say that, because it was a company called WestJet. And when I was at the counter, she said, do you want to upgrade? And I said, yeah. And how much is it? I don't know what it was. Let's say $100 or whatever. Upgrade. All right, upgrade. Then I got into the line for first to go through security. And they had like U.S. agents because you're going into the U.S.
Yeah.
So the lady goes, "You're in the wrong line." And I go, "How's that?" She's like, "This is for first class." And I go, "I just upgraded." Because that's literally the language they use.
Uh-huh.
She's like, "Does this look like?" And she started like being like really.
Yeah, belittling them.
Yeah, and like in front of everybody, and I was like, "I just paid for an upgrade. What did I upgrade to?" And she was like, "I don't know what you upgraded to, but you're in the wrong line." And she just was like making a scene of it, and I was like, "Okay." So she did this whole thing, and she let me go through, but I was like, "What a fucking asshole, right?" And I started saying that, and one of the guys, passengers in the line, he was like, "Hey, I would be careful, because, you know, you could get in trouble. Like, I can tell you're upset." And I was like, "Oh," and it registered to me that he's Canadian. I was like, "Oh yeah, we're not the same." So
I'm a citizen.
I was like, "Watch this." So I put my stuff on the thing, and I go, "Who's your supervisor?" And the lady was like, "Oh, this lady." I go, "Oh, can you send her over here?" And I wanted the guy to hear it. Send her over here, and I go, "Hey, you know you got some fucking pig working over there, right?" And she goes, "Excuse me." I go, "Your fucking pig just tried to like humiliate me in front of your other passengers. So maybe you should take that pig back to a trough, teach her how to eat and how to treat people." So she was like, hold on. And made like, she like pulled me aside and was like, "What happened?" So I told her the whole story, but I was like super heated and aggressive, cursing, yelling, you know. And this guy was like, "What?" I was like, but I was kind of doing it for him.
Yeah, like, yo, homie, we got rights.
I was like, "Nah, dude, that's just not gonna fly here." So she, the supervisor, was like, "I'm gonna talk to her, and but I would appreciate it if you stopped, you know,
calling her a pig.
calling her a pig and using all this language."
She
And I
was raised on a farm.
Yeah, I was like, well, I go, if she wasn't acting like a pig, I wouldn't call her one. She was like, "Okay." And so then police came down, but
No way.
Yeah, but he was like asking her, and she was like, "We don't need you." And then they went over and talked to her, and I just got on my flight.
Did they send you an email or anything? Like,
No,
you don't give a fuck.
no.
Nah, fuck all that.
But I just saw that Canadian guy going.
I've been belittled like that before, and I almost fought one time. It was at Best Buy,
Mm-hmm.
and like I remember just like it was in front of my kids,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Why are you paying with cash?" I'm like, "What do you mean why am I paying with cash?"
What kind of question is that?
Yeah, and because like I had like $3,000 on me, but I was only buying something for $80, and then it all added up, and then he was like, "Why don't you just get a Best Buy card? You do have a social security number, don't you?"
So yeah, so it's again, he's trying to humiliate you.
Yeah, and I was like, "Yo, homie," and I will fuck you up. I told my son, "Hey, take your brothers to the car."
Yeah.
And then they kicked me out.
They did.
But then I did that whole. I did my white shit. I sent an email.
Yeah.
And they were like, gave me a little gift card. But fuck Best Buy.
Yeah.
I'll fuck somebody up from
Fuck
Best
you
Buy.
and fuck TSA.
Yeah.
Okay?
Fuck that. But see, I'm scared when I was flying mostly when I was on parole. So when I got out of prison, there was no work for me in Cali.
Yeah.
And I remember like just being a scared little bitch. Like they're rude, man. They're
Yeah.
rude. They're rude.
I mean, I understand they go through, like, you know, you go through a lot. You're dealing with thousands of passengers. You're in a busy airport, thousands
They're
of
getting
people. a day.
paid.
You're getting paid. I'm saying it's stressful. It's probably not the easiest gig. But whenever, I don't care what your position is. If you try to, like, why are you paying with cash? Or, like, why are you in this line? Like, you're trying to put it on, embarrass people in front of people. I'm like, no, I'm not. You're not going to do that shit to me, dude.
Yeah, it's like you don't have the option at time if you're gonna receive a payment.
Yeah.
Fuck, cash rules everything around me, baby.
Well, also, it's like, what? I mean, does cash not work here or something? Who cares what I'm paying with?
Yeah.
Hey.
Or I have to get change.
Yeah. Yes.
Fuck
You
you.
work at a business.
Yeah.
Fucking figure it
There's
out.
gotta be a little heater in that town hall
I
in
know.
Best Buy.
I want to go to the airport. I want to go to the airport and light them up. I'm like, I'm not even flying today. Fuck you. Fuck you too. Think you're gonna talk to me like that? You're out of your fucking mind.
Oh shit.
All right, let's end on that. If you want to hear more, George Press got stories for days. Go check out George Press Stories. Comes out every Monday. See George on the road. He's an absolutely hilarious comedian. And yeah, dude, I hope to hang out with you more. We're gonna set our Coke date.
Yeah, no, it's on.
It's on. Okay.
I'm gonna do coke off of you, off your scar.
Okay. Good.
That's a good line
That's a
right
good
there.
one. That's a big ass
Oh.
line. Thanks for coming, man. Thank you, bro.
Oh,
Always good to see you.
stupid.
We'll see you next time. Late.
All right. And with that said, we're at an hour. I kind of got a little bit done. Got a center console this way, one seater, a little bit of a back prop, and yeah, this one kind of has that more cruiser layout where the seat is low, and then the dashes move themselves upwards, and the sitting position is kind of more straight, where your spine is running straight up and down rather than like the action pose of a speed bike where you're leaning forward. Again, these are for more like laid back cruising, larger ships sort of ideas, and things like that, and yeah, just again throwing all sorts of gadgets, gizmos, and all that other things. You got the hand pedals, you got the foot pedals, things like that, and then just random. I mean, obviously, if since I'm pulling from motorcycles, they have the exhaust running here, but who knows? Maybe these are just like the power cables and shit like that from the in order to run a giant machine more so than a airplane and shit like that. Or rather than just like a motorcycle where the exhaust is just shooting right out the back right here, but it's actually attached to a giant airship. And yeah, man, again, one from the other angle. I wanted to throw the two-seater thing. It doesn't really quite make sense why, but here's the foot support for someone sitting on the seat here, and and then driver's seat, and then just all the gadgets and gizmos and all that other stuff going on. In the center console area here, none of this stuff really makes sense. But it is what it is, right? And then, yeah, man, this was fun coming up with these things and all these directional things. Like in my head, it kind of makes sense where I can be like, all right, it'll kind of move and function this way, and anyone piloting it will pilot it this way or that way. And they have all the everything here to tell them everything that's going on. So yeah, uh, that'll probably be it. That's gonna be it for this episode. Got a couple in. Hopefully, I don't know how cool all this stuff is to anybody watching. Like I don't know like how much people look forward to actual like, it's not like drawing a vehicle, or you know what I mean, drawing like a just the exterior of a vehicle. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, there we go. So yeah, the seats and the feet. But yeah, it's yeah, that'll be it for this one. Just throwing in the last touches. And again, the arms will be here, the spine there, head facing forward there, and then the feet with the foot pedals there, and then even somebody sitting back here. And, you know, if this was a motorcycle, they would probably just hold the driver that way. Yeah, it's the person on the shit that goes, Lando, or some shit, something. Either way, that'll be the end of this, episode. I don't suppose I'll be doing too many of these. I think this is kind of like, I'm good with this. I could always figure it out a little bit more later. It's just get the concept, get the ideas out. All this stuff sits in my head. Now that I know I can draw it, and, you know, hopefully one day I could actually draw it better and cleaner and all that other stuff. You know, I could do that then. But yeah, I really want to get to vehicles and things like that, and then I'll just jump back on to either environments or character stuff. But you know, going back to actually coloring these things and rendering them out fully and things like that. Again, all this concept stuff I just do, and it's all quick and loose. And if I had to spend time rendering it and shading it and getting the colors and, oh, what color is this going to be? What color is that? You know, like, that's a lot of work. So yeah, man, this was fun though. Nice quick short episode. Other than that, I'm G Mr. Drew at G Mr. Drew on all social media. Follow, like, and subscribe. Links are in bio. Any and all support is appreciated. And yeah, man, check out my website, gmrdrew.art. Other than that, you know, love you all for watching. Thank you all for watching. Peace.